Hello, my name is Chloe. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my April TBR. So, hello. April for me, hopefully, is going to be the month where I can relax a little bit with my reading. I'm not taking part in any readathons. There were a few I wanted to, but I just thought now is the time to relax. And that is because, as you will see in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be announcing the Vampire Diaries Readathon round 2, which is going to happen for the month of May. So that means April, I'm going to really try and let myself relax with my reading, not put too much pressure on myself, and get ready for the Vampire Diaries Readathon. That being said, I do still have a lot of very exciting reads to pick up in April, and I hope you like the sound of some of my plans. So, first of all, we have the Chloe's Crime Scene Corner read for the month, which is Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. I won't go into too much detail about this because I will have talked about it in the announcement video for February, March and April for the book club, and I have just filmed the next 3 months announcement video, so I'm kind of crime scene cornered out right now. This is apparently a very dark thriller and I'm excited to pick it up. I've heard some good things already, so I'll be buddy reading this with the book club at some point in April. The next promised book I have, the next commitment I have, is a Sarah J Maas book I've never read before, and that is The Assassin's Blade. This is the prequel novella book that comes before Throne of Glass, and we are picking it up as part of the Trash for Mass read along. We're reading in between Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows, which I have seen is one of the ways it is suggested to do so. Everyone seems to have a different method, but yeah, I have never read this book. I don't normally get on with novellas. I always like something a little bit more to the story, but I've got vaguely high hopes. I'm hoping there is a lot to talk about with this book. I'm just a little bit scared because of the novella format. I won't talk too much about one of the Throne of Glass books, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, this is now our 4th month of reading in the Throne of Glass series. I will link our live shows so far down in the description if you want to go check them out and start taking part in the read along. Next up we have my Patreon commitments. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is the buddy read. So every month, the top 2 tiers of my Patreon pick a book that they would like to buddy read from my TBR. And this month we are going for Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I have not heard the best things about this book. I basically grabbed it when it was a new Tessa Bailey that just come out, and I loved It Happened One Summer, so why would I not love the rest? And I have seen rock bottom reviews for this one. Saying that, I'm gonna have some hope because sometimes I like books that you guys don't like. But this is about Hallie, who fell hard for Julian at 14 after they almost kissed in the dark vineyards of his family's winery. Now the prodigal hottie, has returned to their small town. When Hallie is hired to revamp the gardens on the estate, she wonders if she'll finally get that smooch. But the grumpy professor isn't the teenager she remembers, and their polar opposite personalities clash spectacularly. One wine-fueled girls' night later, Hallie can't shake the sense that she did something reckless, and then she remembers the drunken secret admirer letter she left for Julian. So it's giving me, what's it called, To All the Boys I Loved Before vibes, just in an adult romance, so we will see what happens here. As I said, I've seen very bad reviews, so I'm hoping that all of us taking part in the buddy read actually love this book, and it's just a blip in the reviews, but we'll see. The next commitment I only have 2 more commitments. So normally I've got like a 20 book TBR. There is only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a themed vlog. So the next commitment I have is the Patreon TBR Jar, which definitely isn't a jar. And this is a pick from all of the top 2 tiers of my Patreon. They get to choose 1 book off of my physical TBR, and I will hopefully read it in the month it gets pulled out. So there is a lot of different stuff in here, and I'm going to go for this one. I always get so scared opening these. Oh, stop it. This is a good one. Okay, it does not want to focus. There we go. It finally focused. So this is Faith's pick, which is Say You Swear. Why won't it just... It doesn't like this piece of paper. I don't know how I seem to be managing to pick the books that I'm excited about in this jar, but it is working. So in April, I'm going to be reading Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. This is a sports romance that got big on TikTok, of course it did. And the blurb doesn't really give me much, so I'll tell you that. It says, for years, I've dreamt of what college life could bring, and while some things have changed, there's always one constant. It didn't matter how wild I allowed my imagination to run, my future was clear, and he was it. Until suddenly, he wasn't. Now there's a new man in my life, one who isn't afraid to go after what he wants, and what he wants is me. That gives me nothing. This is also over 500 pages long of, I guess it's new adult romance, so it's probably going to be filth. And you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think Faith did mention buddy reading this, so I'm going to reach out to her, say I've pulled her pick from the jar and see if she wants to buddy read it. If not, I'll be reading alone, but the offer is there to Faith. Lots of buddy reads now this month, because the next book, the only final commitment I have, is a buddy read with the gorgeous Victoria, and that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This was a gift from Jo, and part of my brain is saying that Jo also wants to buddy read this, so I'm going to get in touch. But yeah, this is a book that I very, very recently hauled, and when Victoria saw it in my haul, she was like, I want to read it, please can we buddy read it? And of course, I will do anything for Victoria. It says this story is about what it was like to be a woman during World War II, when women's stories were all too often forgotten or overlooked. Vianne and Isabel are sisters, separated by years and experience, by ideals and passion and circumstance, each embarking on her own dangerous path towards survival, love and freedom in war-torn France. It's a heartbreakingly beautiful novel that celebrates the resilience of the human spirit and the endurance of women. It's a novel for everyone, a novel for a lifetime. That's a very high claim. I really do hope I like this. I'm kind of scared about it because of how much people seem to be impacted by this. I'm scared that I'm not intelligent enough for it, but we will see, and I'm sure Victoria will hold my hand through the experience. So, in all technicalities, if I can hold them up together, this is technically my TBR for April, which feels very, very good. And it almost feels too good, because I'm going to throw myself a curveball and do a Larry the TBR Llama pick. So if you have not been around on my channel for a little while, Larry the TBR Llama has TBR challenges that I use to create themed weekly reading vlogs. I do weekly reading vlogs every week, but this lets me put a title on the vlog of what kind of books I'm going to be reading, and hopefully just bring that little bit more like cohesiveness to my weekly reading vlogs, because they can just be me rambling for a week. So we're going to do one pick for April. This is actually a pen pot, so he's quite hard to access. And we're going to do one choice for a vlog. If you ever have any suggestions for things to go in Larry the Llama, do let me know, because I will add them. I'm not precious about who gives me prompts for this. I just want them to be good reading prompts. Here we go. Let's see what themed vlog we will be doing. Okay, this is Rebecca's pick and it says holiday. So I feel like Rebecca was on holiday when she gave this prompt, if this is the situation I'm thinking about. And I guess it's a good idea to start reading like books you would read on holiday just before people start going on their summer holidays. So I'm going to take this as books to read on a summer holiday, like when you've gone on holiday. And if you will give me a second to run around, I'm going to pick you 3 books that I'm going to read in this weekly reading vlog. Okay, it took me a while, but I've come back with 3 books that I genuinely think if I put them in my suitcase, I'd be really happy about it. It did also start me thinking, what books am I going to take away on holiday? Because it's under 3 months now till I go, and it's going to be like a fun summer holiday where I sit and read. I was basically thinking about what do I want to take, but also what do I want to read anyway. So I've gone with a highly anticipated 5-star prediction, a book that's kind of not in the best condition, so I wouldn't mind dropping it in the pool, and then one that I'm not sure about, so I'm not going to be too bothered whether I like or not, if that makes any sense. So the first book, the book that I could drop in the pool, is When You Were Mine by Rebecca Searle. I've been meaning to read this for a little while. I keep putting it up for TBR challenges, and it's one of the oldest books on my physical TBR. So this is about Rosaline. She's in love with her best friend Rob, and when they finally kiss, she knows it's meant to be. But then her cousin Juliet moves back to town. Beautiful, intriguing, and a little bit crazy Juliet. All the boys love her, and Rob doesn't stand a chance. Like her namesake, Rose is about to find out that while being written out of your own story might feel like the biggest tragedy of all, being alone isn't the worst fate in the world. So yeah, I've had this a long time. The spine is broken, the pages are yellow, and if I dropped it in the pool, I wouldn't be too upset because I can just get myself a new one if I like it. So that is my first pick for that week. The next pick is actually a very newly acquired book, and it's one I'm not too sure about. It's also one that my colleague has bought me, and my colleague is leaving my job in the middle of April. So I did really want to get it read before she left, and I think part of a holiday vlog is the right time to read it. So we have Dream Lake by Lisa Kleypas. I don't really know too much about this apart from what Liv has told me. We're following Zoe, who is gentle and romantic, who then meets startlingly handsome Alex. Something about him intrigues Zoe, so she encourages him to open his mind to the possibility that love isn't for the foolish. Alex is about as bitter and cynical as they come, battling his demons with the help of a whiskey bottle, until he's visited by a mysterious ghost. Has Alex finally crossed over the threshold to insanity? The ghost doesn't know who he is or why he's stuck in the Nolan's house. All he knows is that he loved a girl once, and Alex and Zoe hold the key to unlocking the mystery that keeps him trapped there. So this, I'm either going to be rolling my eyes or I found a new favourite. So I think that's a really good idea for a holiday read. And then a 5-star prediction. So until last March, when I went away with Emily from Emily Kathleen Reads, if you haven't heard me talk about it 18 million times, we went to Turkey last year. And up until that point, I would only take books I didn't really care about on holiday. On that trip with Emily, I had 3 5-star reads back to back. So I'm going to throw a 5-star prediction into this TBR, and that is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I own so many Colleen Hoover books and I don't read them for some reason, and I think it's because I'm just saving that 5-star feeling. I'd rather get through the 3 stars and then end on a 5-star. But that does mean that I haven't had many 5-star reads so far this year, and I'd like to get one during this reading vlog. So we have November 9. Fallon meets Ben, an aspiring novelist, the day of her scheduled cross-country move. Their untimely attraction leads them to spend Fallon's last day in LA together, and her eventful life becomes the creative inspiration Ben has always sought for his novel. Over time, and amidst the various relationships and tribulations of their own separate lives, they continue to meet on the same day every year. Well, doesn't this sound familiar? Until one day, Fallon becomes unsure if Ben has been telling the truth or fabricating a perfect reality for the sake of the ultimate plot twist. Can Ben's relationship with Fallon, and simultaneously his novel, be considered a love story if it ends in heartbreak? So I really think that's going to be a 5-star. So for the holiday vlog, I'll be reading these 3, and if anything crazy happens in the week and I storm through these, I will only be picking up other holiday reads. So here we have it. My pretty chilled TBR for April. I'm completely okay with this. I feel like this is very doable, and I'm actually really excited about this stack. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any opinions on any of these books, or if you have any questions about anything I'm doing, then please do ask me down below. As I said, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.